Alright, so on this video you asked if your decision making or your mechanical skill was what was holding you back, and I'm actually really glad you asked that because it's almost never your mechanical skill, because even if it was, there's ways around that. There's heroes that don't require as high mechanical skill, and there's things that work out really well even if you can't aim at all. So like here, why did we use our knockback to go forward instead of take the high ground? We would have literally had free shots on that Ana, and we wouldn't have had to worry about it. Like, that Ana couldn't sit behind the payload if you were literally on high ground. And you could still be there, and that Rhine wouldn't be a threat to you. So nice, now we went up there, but now our team has lost the fight. Another thing, so they started this fight with a Winston. You've never hit tab at all. That Winston has gone Roadhog, but if that Winston was still Winston, you could not push up this far. Just hit tab so you know if they're still on those heroes. No reason for you to jump off the high ground there. You could still hit beautiful shots up top. And then, no reason to throw Bob here. That was a big waste. Bob is a very valuable ult. Doesn't charge the world's fastest compared to some ults. And that was a big waste. Even if you would have gotten picks here, it wasn't the perfect use of your Bob. In an overtime situation like this, using your Bob to like contest or something is beautiful. So you could hear the hog's footsteps. You know the hog is coming this way, and you went closer to the door. You're suicidal. So right here, you can hear the hog. So last time you overextended, you got farmed by a McCree. This time you overextended, you got farmed by an Ana. And just think about where you're standing. So we don't even need a map to show this actually. So think about where their enemies are going to be, alright? Or where your enemies are going to be. They are going to be either here, which means they could shoot all of this that's highlighted in red, or they're going to be here, which means they could shoot all of this that's highlighted in red. So if they're not here, then what you need to do is you need to push up to this corner if you want to hold up, because your enemies can't see there, and you can peek this corner, hit some shots. But that said, there's no reason for you to be here in the first place. If instead you had gone up to this high ground, you could be hitting some beautiful shots on that Ana, and you'd be totally safe. So this just doesn't make sense. You've become the most forward tank on your team on a hero that's not even close to a tank, to the point where you literally just got farmed by an Ana. Because you have no cover. Any Ana that has aim is going to destroy you there, because you have no cover and she has a corner. So even if you headshot her, she goes behind the corner. So you're in a 5 stack. I mean, are you and your team communicating like when you're ulting at all or anything like that? Because that's going to be a big upgrade for you that'll allow every single one of you to climb. You literally have a teammate saying they don't know what to aim for, and that's because for 90% of that fight, no one was shot calling. If that happens in like a solo queue plat, I'm like, okay, it's hard to work around. Not everyone's going to be in voice chat. I get it. You guys literally have a 5 stack. You guys should know what to aim for. So far in this fight, you did a ton of splash damage. I don't even want to say a ton, because, yeah. But you haven't actually capitalized on any damage or actually done anything worth writing home about. That team fight, you actually might as well not have been there, because you made no difference. And what that was is they had so much heals, and they had the McCree keeping you from just having your free reign, that you needed to basically either hard commit to a target or just work to like farm one of their tanks and pulse bomb a support. But sitting in that doorway, just spraying a couple different targets, made it so you accomplished nothing that fight at all. You see how your positioning there almost made you lose everything? You were so worried about that soldier who's headed towards the payload. He's not even doing like a crazy flank. Their entire team almost walked right up to you.
my gosh, she got bubbled! She got bubbled, bro.
Ryan's low.
That can be a beautiful thing to do right there, like when your team gets shattered, because it really zones out the enemies from capitalizing on the shatter. But one thing you can do is you can peek this corner so that they see your high nooning here, but then you can also take a step or two back. They know they can't go for your couple teammates over here who were shattered because there's a McCree high nooning right here, but you also can't get slept or anything because you're behind a corner. And it can be a great way to use high noon as a zoning alt instead of shooting a bubble. And I don't even think your kill feed was red, so I don't think you would have gotten the kill. If it was just barely.
She got bubbled, bro.
Ryan's low.
I know, but they're support ulting, it's our way.
Yeah, let him have it. Don't waste it. Don't waste it, Dylan.
I had to.
Oh, Dylan.
I couldn't do it.
I told you.
Should I get time or no? Should I get time or no?
No, it doesn't matter. There's no time. Look.
I mean, okay, yeah, you're right, you're right.
Dylan, oh shit. I should
Hold
have
on,
said it
don't
louder.
peek.
I should have said it louder.
So this is that same position the Ana had on you. See how beautiful it is? Because as soon as you start losing, you peek behind a corner.
They're gonna have grabs ready when we
Fucking shoot that shit.
Just eat it, forehead.
Yeah, let me eat it with my 1 second fucking cooldown.
I'm just
Let's go
kidding.
to down soon.
Run! Oh, I need a shield,
It's here. I don't get shield.
And that's just going to be a general team thing right there. You guys talked about the fact that she had Grav, but then you guys were all grouped close together. Like, you're a ranged hero. There's no reason you need to end up in that Grav.
No. Nice. Go.
my god.
I knew. No way it wasn't gonna come after that. There's no way.
I knew after that Ryan died, I gotta bring him. There's nothing you can do about it.
Really simple enough. 90% of your deaths were caused by your positioning, and so work on taking closer, work on taking safer positions that you can still get value, because while it is sometimes like cool when you like can get these like crazy flank McCree kills, and that's actually the way like a lot of players end up carrying themselves out of like silver or gold. Once you start getting to plat, diamond, master, it really just doesn't happen as much, and instead all you end up doing is feeding. I don't know, and like also taking positions that allow you to do what you need. So like taking a high ground when you can, taking a corner so that you don't get farmed, and that'll instantly allow you to start climbing. I mean, obviously there always is some other stuff. I would love to see you hit tab more than 2-3 times in the match, because like I said, there was a key moment where they had a Winston. You actually shot at the Winston and he respawned as a Roadhog. That is a totally different way that you can play, that your supports can play, and you guys didn't even know because no one called it out, because no one hit tab. Or if they did hit tab, they didn't share it with their team, so at least you didn't know. Second is we gotta work on the alt usage. So your alt is just that. It's an ultimate that can literally win, lose a team fight. Even if you use your ultimate to get like 2 kills, that can win a team fight right there, no problem. And so I hate to see you on Ashe. You like threw Bob off cooldown twice, and both times it didn't really get anything. And so I would love to see you just positioning it a little bit better, especially like Bob. Like you can like throw Bob into their backline, and like if you can manage to get Bob to like charge the Zen, it's almost a free kill on the Zen. Or if it's not, Zen is probably gonna pop Transcendence, which made your Bob worth it right there. Instead, you were like throwing Bob like on the payload or like at one of like a random hero you saw, but you gotta think where you're throwing that. And then the other thing is with McCree's ult, especially as you climb more, you basically need to start expecting that you're gonna get either defense matrixed or slept or headshot, and so you need to look at those things. Do they have characters that can one-shot headshot me? Do they have Ana who can sleep me? If so, did I just hear Ana's sleep sound? It's very loud. And look through those things, and I guarantee just off of those two, focusing on your alts and focusing on your positioning, you'll start climbing massively.